Okay, we're going to start on the non-restricted long guns. I guess they're all going to be long guns. Non-restricted firearms. We're going to do them in batches, so they'll be inconsistent. This one's going to start at lot number 2 and end somewhere. Now this one here, on the Sauer and Son, look at the photographs for number 2. The case is with it. I really want to show you this other doodad as well. Most of these we don't need to talk a lot about, because when it's virtually new, it's virtually new. This one's virtually new. There's not a lot to talk about. This Krieghoff 22 conversion, if you will, goes in the 16 gauge of the 16 gauge barrel. None of this has had any use. I'm not going to start clunking it in there, but it goes in there, and so you can shoot 22, and it's got a little longer barrel than a lot of the ones that I've seen where it's only a 3 or 4 inch unit. So that one's going to be a lot of fun to put into the 16 gauge, and you got 30-06 as far as your rifle. So very usable calibers and gauges, and like new. So have a look at the photographs on that one. The intent of the video, as just like the short guns, if anybody watched any of them, is more to talk about the mechanics. And the number 3 is new. There's nothing to talk about in this one. When I say new, yes, it's going to have some storage use on it. This one does have the thumb safety, so you have that to go along. Non-restricted Benelli. I used to have one of these. Now I kind of wish I'd have kept it, because it was a fun piece. Does use AR mags. So of course they're 5 round. In the sale, just a side note, we do have a plethora of LAR mags, so you could have 10 round mags in there quite nicely. So nothing to report on this one too much. It is in decent shape, and you know, I won't say brand new, but new enough mechanically. A little 22, again, same idea, just so you can sort of see it, feel it. It's in very gently used condition, I think is the term that I would use. So nothing that you need to worry about yourself on that one as far as mechanics go. Comes with a couple of extra magazines, 2 black and the sandy one there. Number 6 comes with a box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next 5 have boxes. Nice clean mechanics on it. And that's really all I can show you on these ones, so very nice. Mechanically virtually new. Same as this one, mechanically virtually new. So nothing you're going to learn on this one here. My son Michael did some math, and he said if I take any more than a very brief seconds to talk about these pieces, then you've got an 8-hour video. Nobody wants to watch that. Just want you to see, you know, you got a nice solid piece here, and mechanically very respectable. Better than respectable. And that's got a box with it. This one here is fun. And you can feel, you can hear, I'm hoping, how beautiful that action is. As each piece engages. Very, very nice. You can buy that one with confidence. As far as the mechanics go, this one here, virtually new. Light as a feather. Light as a feather. Have a look at this one. This is on the Beretta with the hard case, and you'll find the fixtures inside it. Buy with confidence, because it has seen very little use. It's going to have a few nicks on it. That's not what we're here to show you in the video. This is just for those that can't come to the sale, can't come to the viewing. This mechanically is like brand spanking new. So again, with confidence, we just move along. We should be able to do this whole little wall in one video. Number 10 on the Remington, again, got a box with this one. Very solid, very low miles. There's no indication of a lot of use. When you're looking inside at the action, you can feel it's solid. Satori, nothing much to talk about on that one. And good positive engagement. I'm going to pull the trigger on it this time. We'll make a habit of that. You can hear. You only get to hear it once if I pull the trigger, so we're not going to make a habit of that. On the little semi-auto, little takedown unit. These are fun. Lot number 12 we're at. We're just zipping right along. And we've had several of these over the years in different configurations. There's not much to show you on this one. It is mechanically, it feels very nice. I have played with it, as I've mentioned in one or two of the handgun videos. I'm fairly intimate with the collection, and just because you handle it so much. Now there is handling wear on really where it would be handled. And so you can see the sweat was left on the grip there, and so some of the finish has been taken away. Again, you know, virtually, mechanically, you know, there's no reason to think that there's any real miles on it. There's no excess dirt inside there. It's really quite nice. So again, buy with confidence on that one. Number 14. I guess you could arguably say a little bit more use than lots number 8, but it's still, everything feels very respectable. I'll do the trigger once. Very nice. Nothing to concern yourself on that one. That sounds a bit boring, but I could just keep saying there's nothing to talk about. But the less there is to talk about, the better, because we're here to talk about condition and mechanical, just so you can hear it, right? This one I don't think has any miles on it. This is lot number 15. This is the Winchester. You've got some extra chokes in there, plus there's one in there, removable chokes, and you've got a couple in the bag there. And this has no miles on it. So mechanically, you're buying a virtually new gun. The next one, you're buying a virtually new gun on, this is the 4570 in round barrel, half-length tube, and you're buying another firearm that has had virtually no use. This one does have a safety. Not sure when they started putting the safeties on. Might help you date it, plus the serial number. These long-range firearms, again, we're not here to talk about what it is, just its condition, and you feel a real nice smooth action on it. I'm going to pull the trigger once. There's one thing you'll never be allowed to do when you're out of viewing anyway, and it is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So mechanically, I think you could be very proud of this one here. Buy that one with confidence. Number 18, same idea, very custom, EM Precision. And I don't have any reason to think. I'll look at these videos another day and see, you know, what we could have done better. There hasn't been time to look at them. I'm going to do the trigger once. Oh my gosh, it's like, ba-da! So definitely a custom piece that somebody set up for long range and then did not get a lot of miles on it. That's lot number 18. You also get different accessories for the stock here to go in the back to make it longer, shorter, whatever the case may be. We're also going to spread these racks out for when the live viewing happens, partially for the COVID and partially because it's kind of crowded no matter what. 3-inch mag on this one, Winchester, a little bit more miles on this one. Mechanically still feels nice, but you can see where it's had a little bit more use, a little bit less cleaning. So I'm going to do the trigger once. Am I? You know, so mechanically it's still solid, but it does have more miles on it. Number 20 has low miles. Yes, I used to be a car salesman, but I don't see any evidence of extra miles on it. And it's a very, very smooth piece. I'll do the trigger once. Hopefully I don't get called out by the consigners for doing that, but let's face it, these things get dry fired a lot. Not in an auction viewing normally, but in your gun rooms and whatnot. Just stay away from the rim fires and the older stuff for sure, and don't make a habit of it. Again, I don't see any miles on this one. This is 21, comes with an extra magazine that's on the shelf there. I don't see any evidence of thinking that we need to have, you know, a discussion to say, oh, there's this going on mechanically or that. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. 22, same thing. Mechanically, it's snug. It is just, has no miles on it. I'm not sure that these give you the same sense of what you would be learning from maybe the handgun videos, where you can see a little bit more of the stuff happening. Number 23. Let's take a minute to refresh our memory on this one, the Sauer. 12 gauge. Does not tell us how deep the cylinders are. and they don't always have indications on them. This one, somebody asked us what the chokes were too. Clearly it's fixed choke. You know, is it full choke? Is it whatever? I found no markings. Steve's looked, couldn't find any markings on it to confirm what the chokes are, and so we're not going to speculate. So I think the description has been updated to say unknown fixed choke. So, but it does lock up nice. There's no rattling going on there. It unlocks nice. Now when you go to close it, you do have to. It doesn't automatically stay all the way over and allow you to lock. You have to and move it over. Normal or not normal, I'm not saying. I'm just saying that that's the case. And the safety, everything feels quite nice on it, and locks up nicely. This is a newer sort of a knockoff piece. Lot number 26 on the Ranson. I'll be surprised if it's ever been shot, to be honest. Looks like this, well, for sure that rear sight's not factory, not proper. So maybe it's been shot a few times, but like that nipple looks like it's either been replaced or, oh yeah, inside the hammers you've got some residue, so maybe it's just got a new nipple on it, but probably not a lot of use. And it's a what you see is what you get kind of a piece. They never get a lot of use anyhow. They're just a nostalgic thing. This one here unlocks, locks up nicely. You know, it's not rattling. Positive disengagement. So not a lot else I can tell you. I don't know if you can learn a lot from that other than it does feel positive. 29. I'm going to say this is what you see is what you get. You know, there's nothing extra nice and nothing extra bad about the action. It's just there. You know, most of these 22s, they go through a million different rounds and not get cleaned, and so I think it would definitely benefit from a cleaning, but I don't think you would find there to be any issues with it. Not a whole lot we can talk about this one. I'm certainly not going to pull the trigger on any, oops, I just caught my rubber glove finger in there. We're going to encourage people to wear rubber gloves at the viewing, and I can see where when you're handling things it's going to be an issue. Not a lot I can tell you on that one, unfortunately. It's not stiff, it's not loose. I'm not going to pull the trigger being a rimfire though, and without a snap cap in there. So unfortunately that one's a bit anticlimactic as far as what I can tell you. Again, on the sort of the reproduction Euro Arms Kentucky rifle. Price point piece, and the action is exactly what you would expect from it. It does lock, it does disengage, and that's the extent of the description on that one. This poor little baby here, I think there was a TV show once where the guy touched something and he could flash back into everything that had to do with it. I think it was a person you would touch or something. I'd love to be able to grab a piece like this, because how many little kids, this was their first firearm, learning to go out and plink with dad or granddad or their uncle or whatever. I mean, it's been broken and fixed with a fairly crude workshop tin bashing. I've seen worse, I'll tell you that. I've probably done worse. And but I've seen better, but I've seen worse, where they actually had the foresight to curve the metal piece around and give it a little bit more structure. So this one is a conversation piece, is what this one is. This is not something you're buying to take the grandkids out now, probably, although enough people have tweaked these and finished them. But this is a conversation piece. This is for I remember when I was a lad. It's sort of that kind of a piece. A little bit more miles on this one, a little bit storage rust on it, a little bit. This one's marked fixed full choke, or it's marked full choke. So this is a fixed full choke on this one. And nothing excessive to report. Definitely, you know, is dirty. Doesn't get as cleaned as some, but I mean, it's still functioning smoothly. This is a good usable piece because it does have a little bit of storage rust on it, but nothing that's going to be a concern as far as functionality goes. And so you could, if you're taking a buddy out either to shoot clay or to shoot birds, you know, clay or living, give them that gun, because you know you don't want to give them your brand new one. And so it would be perfectly good for that. 47 on the Winchester. I'm going to say it feels a bit sluggish, but it is fully functioning. Feed ramp is coming up. When it's in place, it's not rattling. It's certainly not going to rattle when it's down because it is a bit sluggish, so really good cleaning on that one. But you can tell just by the brown patina and so on that it is, it's had a bit of a life, so that's fun. People are still going to comment about why aren't we talking about the bore. If I've said it once, I've said it a million times. If I look at the bore, it doesn't mean anything. If I don't actually put something down it and then measure the lens and grooves, it's just an opinion. Yes, sometimes you can look at something and say, like Alex always says, it's a sewer pipe, meaning there's nothing, no rifling. But if there's any hint of it, what does it really mean? So that's my opinion. Other retailers and auction companies do offer opinions on them. To me, it is strictly that. It's an opinion, and it really doesn't hold any weight in my opinion. So there's my opinion on opinions. So we did buy a bore camera. I'm hoping that you can kind of hear that as I'm going along, the engagement of everything. Mechanically, this feels snug. This feels nice and positive. I like that one. I'm gonna do the trigger once. Yeah. We did buy a bore light, a bore camera, and we've experimented with it. But and I don't know. We might get a few of the say the more expensive older pieces done. There's no point in doing a new piece. If I say it appears almost new, whatever verbiage we sometimes use when we're cataloging, appears to have had very light use. Somebody will say, but what's the bore like? I've had that email. I think to myself, you're asking me, I just said it appears to have had very light use, and you're asking me what the bore is like? I'm going to say out loud, that's a dumb question. Okay, these are, you're not going to learn anything that you probably didn't already assume. This just feels exactly how you expect, but it's not loose, not falling. Slides nicely. I think that there's, what you see is what you get on that one there. So I'm not sure if that little string taught you much, other than sometimes it's brand spanking new and you don't have to worry about it. So I'm not sure. Anyhow, that ended at lot number 49. So lot number 2 through 49, obviously there's going to be stuff missing because it might have been an antique in there. There might have been a box of ammo or whatever. So those are the non-restricted, and we're going to hopefully, and again, these are geared to the people that are not able to come to the viewing, and we do expect a lot of people. But obviously, if you're not from local, you can't come. It's just not as convenient, and we get that. And most of our bidders are distant. They're people that aren't coming to the building, COVID or no COVID. So we'll see how this one goes, see what kind of feedback we get. I know some people are going to say, well, I'm not learning enough from it, but I can only say so much about it at the same time. So we'll see what we can learn. Maybe in the future, don't say anything about the new pieces and only focus, and then you can spend a few more minutes on the older ones. Or nothing at all, depending if nobody's even watching it. So let's cut it there and move on to the next one.